Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ebb Boys, and welcome to episode 2 of my Zeah only Iron Man. On the last episode of Twisted League, I ended off doing some woodcutting, working towards my third relic, my second unlock. The reason I went for woodcutting is not only hitting 60 woodcutting as a medium task, but also entering the woodcutting guild, which also requires 60, is another medium task. I did get 40 fletching while hanging around the willows, which is yet another medium task. But for those of you who don't know, you need 75% Hosidius favor to get in the woodcutting guild too. I haven't even actually gotten 60 woodcutting at this point. I've gotten pretty close. But since I was doing it on stream, just like I did with my firemaking at the beginning, I kind of split it in two. Did a bit of woodcutting and then decided, let's go get some Hosidius favor. The only way to start Hosidius favor is by plowing the fields. Now this might be one advantage I had for not starting immediately on the Twisted League, is that these fields are not packed. I just imagined that they were insanely full since they're pretty full now, but I don't know. I wasn't doing it then. Maybe they weren't too bad, but I even only had my plow stolen once in this whole debacle here, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was nice to be getting some of my farming and my crafting XP started. Not that you got very much of it, but overall, I really had no other way that I was going to start crafting, and the only farming XP I already had was from one of my lamps. Here's the issue though. I went for 15% Hosidius favor, and then I decided to go do some fruit stalls because I was under the impression for some reason that I would get favor just stealing from the fruit stalls, and I also needed thieving XP. Now I got that Golvanova top, however you say it, which is a task, but then I realized I'm not getting any favor, so I just ended up going right back to the fields. Getting 15% favor from the fields really wasn't that big of a deal, but having to go to 45 before being able to use the mess hall kind of blows. There is making fertilizer if I had some saltpeter, but as you guys probably remember, I didn't really do any Wintertodt up to this point. I've only done a little bit, and also I have really no compost. This is my first bit of farming XP other than a lamp, so I just went to 45% on the plows, which really wasn't that bad, honestly. It felt like a bit of a journey when I started, but it really didn't take that much longer than my woodcutting overall. I got another easy task done with 20 crafting, and I got to 21 crafting, 23 farming total. Now that I was done with 45% favor, though, I was headed over to the mess hall. Unfortunately, the only cooking that I've done at this point was just while I was catching fish to get to barbarian fishing, so I wasn't high enough cooking to be able to do pizzas. Strangely enough, there are two different tasks in the mess hall for turning in food. One of them is to turn in 20 stews at a time, and one of them is to turn in 20 pizzas at a time. There's no tasks for the pies, which is kind of stupid. But I did 20 stews to start off and get that task done, and then I mostly just made a bunch of pies until 100% favor, which really didn't take long. I think I spent much less time in here than I did on the plows. Now with 100% Hosidius favor, all I needed was 60 wood cutting, so I went right back to willows. I also did a bit of fletching, so after this inventory, I made my way over to the Woodcutting Guild and got another medium task done. I don't plan on using the Woodcutting Guild quite yet, but it is nice to unlock. I can get a better axe in there first of all, and once I'm done with a little bit more fishing, this will probably be my AFK life for a little while. For now, I got a handful of medium tasks done with that, and I got this easy clue from woodcutting, so honestly, since I haven't done a single clue at this point, you gotta figure I'm gonna get some of my new best gear out of this clue. Clues are actually pretty cool when you can only be on Zeah, since all of the steps are in Zeah. I'll admit the 4th tier has a relic that's called Treasure Seeker. It's really sick for clues. There's a lot of things like stackable unstarted clues. They're all lowest step clues, and you have it's really easy to get them as a drop or from fishing and whatnot. It's kind of tempting to get now that I've done a single clue. I believe I'll be going for Konar's Blessing, but that's 2 tiers down the road. Woo! My first casket! Let's just open it. Easy casket, baby. I got the league task done, and what reward do we get? Oh, sweets and some black armor. It's better than the armor I already have. Yeah, boy! I'll take purple sweets, too. 'Twas all worth it. Back on the AFK note, I did make my way to some fishing for another night of just AFK gains. I got my way to 80, which also got me 55 strength and 55 agility. Also, I managed to get an elite clue bottle, which I figured wasn't going to work out very well because I really don't have very many stats or good pieces of gear, and I did get one that required some decent gear. I had to get a Mystic Robe bottom, a Rune Kite Shield, and any Bob shirt. None of that was going to happen anytime soon, and not that I have a lot of elite tasks that I can do. I just figured I'm probably going to see another elite clue before I'm able to see any of that gear, so unfortunately I dropped it. With 80 fishing complete, that was my first hard task on the Twisted League, if I'm not mistaken, and it made a pretty good jump towards that third relic. 40 smithing and a medium task. That's for the white Thieving. And now smith gold ore. Let's go ahead and claim some points. Oh, it was 150. I got another medium task off stream that I don't remember because I only needed 100. So I may not have had to do that, but I would have done it in the long run. I can now select my next relic. I was going for Way of the Warriors, what I said. So this is double XP and basically all combat stuff. Gathering skills are like mining, woodcutting, fishing, farming, blah, blah, blah. Artisan is more like, I mean, if you click on it, you can see, right? Just does the artisan one. It's like smithing, cooking, firemaking, herb lore, fletching, crafting, construction. Those would all be nice, don't get me wrong, but I'm going with Way of the Warrior. Definitely going with Way of the Warrior. And now I'm going to try to actually do some combat stuff. My combat stats look horrible. Strength is good thanks to fishing. Quick. I mean, if I see some decent cash, I could just bounce. 69 firemaking. Lol. What do you got for me? Fucking Avanto seeds. Bunch of stuff I won't use. Oh! Dude! Tome of Fire, KC8. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, I was just looking for cash, brother. Are you kidding me? Does it still count as a warm item when it's empty? You can't even... Oh, you need 50 magic. I can't wield it at all. Oh my god, dude. That's insane. It took me post 99 to get this in my hardcore. Wow. Okay. Well, it's not a warm item, unfortunately. I mean, it is, but I can't wear it. So not for me. We move on. Let's go for 9 KC. I have been knocking out a couple Wintertodt KC here and there. Getting 80 and even 99 firemaking would be some pretty simple, hard tasks to get done. And plus, I got some burnt pages to fill up my tome a bit. I kind of need coins still. You can get really any supplies here. I'm going to need... So, occasionally I'm getting some KC, but I'm really not trying to grind out a bunch. So with my third relic unlocked, I decided I needed a new weapon. I bought an adamant battle axe for now, and I do have the, what is called, unnatural selection relic, so I decided it's time to do a bit of Slayer. You can choose sand crabs apparently up to 50 combat if you're able to choose your own Slayer tasks, so I decided to go with sand crabs. I figured that would be probably the best combat XP right out the gate, but I did need some prayer XP too, so honestly doing some hill giant tasks wouldn't hurt either. Sand crabs are already pretty quick XP, but the 5 times XP rates, excuse me, 10 times XP rates at this point really made it very convenient. I didn't necessarily get to insanely high levels while doing this, but I was going for 40 attack and then 40 defense, and then probably just going to grind out strength. I don't know if I would go right to 80, but probably all the way to 80 before heading back to attack. I haven't really made all of those decisions yet. I did choose Hill Giants as my second task, hoping to get some Ensouled Giant heads, and the big bones are 75 prayer XP apiece. Actually, that's double. They're 150 prayer XP apiece. I keep forgetting that. I have 2 times XP in combat now. Makes it pretty convenient. Trying to get to 43 prayer would be nice at this point. I was hoping to have Protect from melee, because if I could fight Fire Giants reasonably, maybe I can get a Rune Skimmy, which is way better than using this Adamant Battle Axe. I did end up with enough Ensouled heads from the 1 Hill Giant task and like half of a Moss Giant task that I was able to get up to 43 prayer, even a little bit higher than 43. I went for Mystic Light so that I had some decent offensive prayers for range and magic too. And I didn't end up using all of my Ensouled heads just to save some runes for now. I fought some giant frogs to get the rest of my nature rune drops. It didn't take too long, but it was also pretty stupid. I wasn't a big fan of it, so I would rather not have to do that very often. Even though I made my way to 43 plus prayer so that I could use Protect from melee, I did try out Fire Giants with what I had right now. And it's pretty reasonable that I'm going to want to get some runes, some decent magic levels, and probably just safe spot them unless I'm waiting to get much higher combat, because killing them with melee is still going to be insanely slow with my setup. Since I did get to 80 fishing, I decided my AFK life should now be some woodcutting. I bought myself an adamant axe, and I would like to get some fletching levels out of this too. I'll mostly do these maple trees. I probably could just carry a knife with me and fletch them right away, but there's a deposit box right here. I'm going to try to bank a bunch of maple logs, try to get some good fletching levels so I can make myself a decent bow, and in the long run, that's probably how I'm getting a rune crossbow, I imagine, is by getting that 69 fletching. While woodcutting, I managed to get a medium clue. This could be the second clue in the account. First medium clue, but I ran into an issue. This coordinate clue sent me to the farming guild, and I have done basically no farming at this point. So it was time to get some farming started. I need 45 just to get into the guild. Plus, farming contracts are pretty good for seeds, for farming XP and whatnot. And there's some tasks required. There are some tasks that require you to do farming contracts. So it wouldn't kill me to just make my way to the guild. I can also choose my own farming contracts. They're probably going to be really easy to do because of that. The only patch you have to work with is here in Hosidius, at least the only allotment patches. You get 2 allotments, a flower and an herb patch, your normal beginner setup. So I'm just burying the seeds that I have at the moment. The only seeds I've gotten are from pickpocketing master farmers, and I'll probably continue to do some pickpocketing master farmers before I get to the farming guild. Not only do I need more seeds, but I could really use some thieving XP too. The plan at this point is to get to 34 farming from this patch and then just head to the Tithe farm. I imagine 1 round of Tithe farm should get me from 34 to 45. In between farming runs, I started fletching some of those bows. Apparently, the general store will buy unstrung bows for a decent price. I imagine maple bows they're not hard to get, so I imagine there's a lot of them in the general store already. They might be fairly cheap, so I'll get some cash out of this. Again, though, those fletching levels will be nice. Not that I've done any range at this point, but having some decent bows when I do range would be nice. The time has come for 34 farming. I will now be able to use the Tithe farm, which has got to be really insane farming XP here. It's really not bad XP in the normal game. It's also not a lot of fun, but there's a lot of tasks involved with it too. I believe it's a task for planting 100 of each kind of seed, so that's 3 separate tasks. And then buying the outfits, the seed box, and I think the can are also tasks. So there's 6 tasks involved in the Tithe farm. I might as well get some points going. I don't plan on doing more than 100 seeds at a time, and unfortunately I messed these seeds up. I'm only turning in 99 of them, but it's still going to get me enough farming XP for now just to get to the guild, which was the main goal. I don't have anything against Tithe farm. It's just not my favorite activity. I can't imagine that's an unpopular opinion there, but I do want to get a decent amount done for the solid farming XP. So I'll end up doing 100 seeds here and there just to make sure I can keep up with farming life. Finally, I can make my way to the farming guild, and I can start some farming contracts. Since I can choose my own contract, I figure it's pretty easy just to plant whatever the hell I want, and just make sure when I choose contracts, just to choose whatever plant I'm about to harvest. Go harvest it quick and get a contract out of it. I'll start with a flower, though. The flowers grow the quickest, so if I'm staying here a little bit, it wouldn't hurt to start with flowers. I don't know. I don't have a huge plan on farming contracts at the moment, but you can get a handful of tasks done. In fact, just entering the guild was a task. I didn't even notice that. Does that say "Ho Down" is a music track? All right, I gotta end this clip. I also forgot about that medium clue for a bit. I believe this is gonna be the casket. I won't be opening it right away because I'm gonna save it for stream, but I'll have it as the next clip for you guys. KC1 Ranger boots could still be a thing. Just a single medium casket is a task, if I'm not mistaken, too. So here we go. Please, something good. I mean, we can let Brad take it away. It's been a while. Hold on. I got a page. I got a new Best in Sod helmet and an Addy axe that I already had. Is this a trimmed strength amulet, too? This is beautiful. Is that a Bandos page? Bandos page 3. This is really not bad. I could have taken anything because I have just about nothing. But the strength amulet is plus 10? Way better than I thought it was. Yeah, that's actually pretty savage for the melee life. Plus the better helmet. So those clips are a little bit out of order. I did wait until stream to actually open up that casket. So let's catch up to what happened between digging up the casket and opening it up. First of all, I did go for some thieving levels. You need 64 thieving to get to the stone chest. And that's one way you can get a Xerix talisman, which I kind of prefer to do it that way than to fight the lizardmen. I think fighting lizardmen might take too long at this point. And with more thieving levels, not only do I have a good task done at 80, but at 85 thieving, you can steal from a gem stall. And I believe that's an elite task. That would be by far my first elite task complete. So I might want to get some more thieving in sooner than later, but at least I have stone chests unlocked. I'm first going to go check those things out. I did make my way over to the stone chests and do really not too much to start. I just wanted to get an idea of how long they would take and at least get some fabric, some of the Xerix or Xerician fabric, whatever it's called, to actually make some magic robes. You'll notice I'm not using a lockpick when I did this part of thieving. The only way to get a lockpick in Twisted League was the young impling, if I'm not mistaken. But they've since added the lockpick drop to scavengers within raids. So eventually, I will end up going to get a lockpick from raids. But when I recorded this clip, there was really no good option for a lockpick. That's why I decided not to use one. These turn out to be pretty good XP per hour too, and like I mentioned in the last clip, I would like to get at least up to 85 thieving for some tasks, but that is not necessarily the goal right now. Other than getting some fabric, just getting a Xeric's Talisman would be nice, and then I'll probably end up coming back. I did get enough fabric off the 1 Envy so far to go ahead and come by a needle and thread and make some magic gear. I could use this magic gear to safe spot some fire giants and try to get a rune skimmy, but I don't have a ton of runes. It's part of the reason why I wanted magic gear is how few runes I had. I figured I'm trying to get more damage per rune, get a little bit more length out of them. But for now, I'm thinking if I'm going to safe spot them, it might end up being a better idea to work with range. I just feel like I'll be able to set myself up to get more kills in a trip and just be able to hang out at fire giants for longer if I do range, which means I got to get some more range in because right now my range level is pretty ass. I don't have very good range weaponry in general, but I have high enough fletching to make some decent bows, so I went to the Land's End. This is the northwest side of the Land's End right by the bank where you can pick a little bit of flax, and now I'm going to go chop a couple of trees since I do have high enough wood cutting. Basically, I can make myself up to a U bow right now. So here's a couple of short bows. This ranges all the way up to a U short bow. I do need 80 fletching to make a magic short bow, which is a little bit further down the road, admittedly. So I don't have any great range weaponry, and I'm still rocking some iron arrows at the moment. But with the amount of XP I get, I could just go safe spot a couple of Slayer tasks. Maybe even just one Slayer task will at least get me to the point I could use this U short bow and probably get some decent damage done. Alright, about to grab 15 range, which might not seem very important, but that's because it isn't. I'm also getting 1,000 total level on this one, which is another task complete. Not doing insane total level-wise at this point, but still making some progress. I'll do anything I can to get some points since I'm making my way towards my 4th relic anyway. But it's really the range gains that I'm looking for right now. Like I said, I'm thinking I'll probably want to safe spot fire giants with range rather than magic, just because I think I'll get more kills out of it that way. But 15 range isn't going to cut it. Alright, everybody. There is 40 range. I can now use that U short bow, which is immediately my best range weapon. Still rocking some iron arrows, so I'd really like to get to the point that I can make broad bolts and broad arrows, though I don't actually have weapons that can use them yet, so I guess it's a little further down the road. I'm getting closer to being able to safe spot fire giants pretty well, but for now we're going to stop at 40 range. This is actually the clip that I was about to go open that medium casket, though, so I've caught all the way back up on the clips, and I'm going to start wrapping up the episode here. Solid gains in this one. Overall, I am up to 3 relics now and actually making pretty good progress towards the 4th. I might want to start the next episode by wrapping up the 4th relic. Other than combat, though, there's a handful of things that I want to work on, too. I've got some better gear than I had, but could still make some really solid gear upgrades. And little things like the Xeric's Talisman I probably should be working on too, now that I have stone chests. That's going to save a lot of time if I could actually teleport around Zeah rather than walk around. I'll wrap this up right here though, everybody. Thank you very much for watching episode 2 of my Twisted League adventures. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content. I also have a Twitch, a Twitter, and a Discord, which all links are in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.